Hi everyone, we are Group 4 of Group C of Management Accounting 1. Today we'll be reviewing articles on activity-based costing. So now let's get started. Alright, so before we go to the article, let me introduce to you about what is ABC costing method. So ABC costing method is a method that assigns the overhead and indirect costs to products more accurately. So instead of just spreading the cost evenly, this ABC method will trace costs to specific activities involve production, providing a clear pictures of the true cost of each product. And this will help the business to make better pricing, budgeting, and decision-making strategies. So now let's move on to the first article review.
Greetings everyone, my name is Mubarok Azura Rahma and my metric number is 303229. And here, I'll be presenting on why activity-based costing or ABC is still lagging behind traditional costing method in Malaysia. This presentation is based on a study by Devina Garasia, which looks at how these two costing systems compare, what benefits ABC offer, and why it's still not widely used, especially in Malaysia business context. Now, let's take a look at the differences between traditional costing and activity-based costing. Traditional costing assigns overhead costs by using just one factor, like labor or machine hours. Also, it's simple and easy to use, but not very accurate when a company has different types of products or services. And then, on the other hand, activity-based costing assigns costs based on the actual activities involved in a production. It gives more detailed and accurate picture of where money is being spent. This makes ABC especially useful for complex businesses with multiple products or services. Despite of its complexity, ABC comes with several important benefits. The first is ABC allocate costs more precisely by showing true cost of a product or services. This can help businesses to make better pricing and budgeting decisions. The second, ABC helps to identify non-value adding activities, which is things that waste time or resources, so companies can remove them and operate more efficiently. And the last is ABC supports strategic decision making. Manager can get better insights into what part of the businesses are profitable and where improvements are needed. While ABC has a clear benefits, there are also several challenges that make it hard for companies to implement. The first is ABC systems are very complex. They require a detailed understanding of business process and activities, which takes time and effort to analyze and track. The second is cost of setting up and maintaining ABC is very high. It often involves specialized software and staff training, which many companies, especially the small one, may not be able to afford. And then the third is there's a lack of expertise, especially in Malaysia. A lot of managers and accountants don't have the training or experience to design and use ABC system properly. And the last is ABC process is time consuming. Gathering data, identifying activities, and assigning cost driver takes a lot of work, which discourage business from adopting it. Even there's a lot of benefits of ABC, these practical barriers are part of why ABC is not commonly used in Malaysia. The biggest reason are cost and complexity. Many small and medium-sized businesses, which make up a large part of Malaysia's economy, find ABC is too expensive and it's really hard to implement. Also, there is a lack of awareness and training on how to use ABC effectively. Many managers are more comfortable with traditional method, especially if the current system seems to be working well. And then the last is there is often resistance to change. Switching from traditional cost to ABC may require time, also effort and a change in how the business thinks of cost, which not every company is ready for.
Greetings everyone, my name is Yien, and now I'm going to review the second article entitled Activity-Based Costing in Public Sector, Benefits and Challenges. But I'm also going to talk about some of the challenges with traditional costing method and also how the ABC method act as a solutions. So let's get started. Okay, now we're going to talk about the challenges of traditional costing in public sector. The first one is inaccurate cost allocation. So traditional costing, it uses the broad average to calculate the overhead costs, which often leads to inaccurate service cost estimating. And this is especially problematic in the public sector, where different departments or programs consume resources differently. The second one is the limited decision-making support. Because it doesn't provide detailed cost breakdowns, so traditional costing it fails to support effective budgeting, pricing, or resource allocation. So public sector managers may make poor decisions due to lack of accurate cost data. The third one is not designed for service-based organizations. So traditional costing was originally developed for manufacturing, where the direct costs dominate. In the public sector, which is largely service-based with a high indirect costs, this system cannot reflect true service costs. The next one is lack of transparency and accountability. Stakeholders such as taxpayers or funding agencies, they cannot clearly trace how resources are spent, and this reduces public trust and makes harder to justify budget requests or policy decisions. The last one is inability to link costs to outputs or performance. Because it focuses on departments and not on activities, so traditional costing it doesn't link costs to actual outputs or services provided. And this will makes it difficult to measure efficiency, productivity, or performance outcomes. Okay, now we're going to talk about how the activity-based costing method act as a solution. So the first studies it shows that the CIMA official terminology says that the ABC is an approach to costing and monitoring of activities which involves tracing resources, consumption, and costing final output. And the second studies it says that the resources are assigned to activities and activities to cost objects based on assumptions estimates. And the latter utilizes the cost drivers to attach the activity cost to cost outputs. And that's why the ABC method recognizes the causal relationships of cost drivers to activities. This is a study by Hulse and Savage in 1999. And next one, we're going to talk about the benefits of this ABC method. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the benefits of this ABC method. And from the first studies by Kings and also Vasakits, Karaglanis, and Celta, it says that their finding shows that when we combine it with new technologies and new management, this ABC method application can help to resolve all the deficiencies of the public sector, can also help produce services at the minimal cost. And the next one is the second studies by the USAID in 2003. It shows that the applications of the ABC method can, when they use it to calculate the unit cost for the healthcare organizations in Peru, the results shows that when they apply the ABC method to healthcare services in a developing country, it seems to be feasible and potentially useful. And these are two of the benefits that I can found in this article. And next one, we're going to talk about the challenges that we face when we apply the ABC method in the public sector. Okay, now I'm going to talk about some of the challenges of implementing the ABC method in the public sector. From this article, I could found the first studies by the Wessels and Magdalena. They says that one of the main challenges is because of the insufficient training of users and managers. And the second studies by the Taba, some of the challenges mentioned are because of training, high costs of implementation, lack of software packages, the lack of data requirements, and also the cooperations between the departments. And the last studies by the Brandora and Celesio, they mention so many challenges, and some of it is because of high cost of implementation ABC, resistance to change, or because of the ABC involves a great deal of work, lack of top management support, problems in identifying activities, high cost of consultations, and so on. And these are some of the challenges that I could found in these articles. And now we're moving to the conclusions of my thoughts after reviewing this article. So now I want to make a quick conclusion. So the studies of these articles has concluded that by implementing this ABC method in the public sector, I mean, we will face several challenges, but it also shows that when we are using this ABC method, it will help to improve the cost accuracy and so much more advantage. So some of the key takeaways from these articles is that the ABC's method it increases the awareness of activities and the related costs. It also improves the control and the cost control. It also supports better financial decisions. And lastly, it also encourages alignment of operations with strategies goals. And that's it from me. And now I'm going to welcome to the next members to continue the presentation.
Hi everyone, and thank you for being here. My name is Abomo Otilia Binti Abdullah, and my matrix number is 306714. Today I will be presenting on the implementation of activity-based costing in the Accountant General Department of Malaysia, also known as AGD. This is a significant case in the Malaysia public sector and reflect a broader shift under the new public management reform movement, which encourage the public sector to adopt practice from the private sector to improve efficiency, accountability, and transparency. Activity-based costing or ABC is a method that links costs directly to the activity that drives them. Unlike the traditional costing system, ABC provides a more accurate view of where and how resources are consumed. This is especially relevant in public agencies like AGD, which is often multiply service with complex overhead. The goal was to improve internal cost, visibility, streamline service, and a better management resources. Before the ABC system, AGD used an outdated manual system called MAS, the Micro Accounting System, which had been in place since 1992. MAS require users to enter costing data manually and is lack integration with other digital systems. As AGD began using the new GFMAS system, the Governance Financial Management Accounting System, it became clear that MAS was no longer suitable. It couldn't keep up with the demand for accurate and timely cost data. ABC was introduced to address this issue. It helped the department move away from manual error-prone method and enable better cost control, more meaningful output evaluation, and increases transparency in how public funds were used. Most importantly, it gave the AGD the ability to evaluate the cost efficiency of its service, compare the performance across branches, and restructure operation to reduce inefficiency, things the MAA system could not support. Let's look at the case study of ABC implementation in AGD Malaysia. The process began in 2006 when AGD decided to adopt activity-based costing as a part of its transition to the GFMAS platform. A steering committee was formed and external consultants were brought in the design system. The early years focused heavily on Ally, the model of which AGD wide range of operation. By 2009, the system was ready for trial, but technical issues like data inconsistency and integration problem delayed the rollout. The system had to be redesigned and was finally relaunched in 2012 with full implementation across all branches and divisions. The design stage was most complex. AGD needed a model that could accurately reflect its diverse activities. Within 2006 and 2009, the steering committees with consultant identified core activities, cost drivers, and output. They also developed a dictionary of activities and output to ensure standardization across departments so everyone would interpret cost data the same. Was implemented in 2012, ABC generate most report at branch level at quarterly summarized at headquarters. This helped compare costs across branches and spot inefficiency. But even with the better internal reporting, ABC use was still limited. The costing data wasn't fully integrated into strategic planning, and some staff, especially at branch level, struggle with usability and commitment. Several factors contribute to the success of ABC at AGD. One of the most important was the accurate identification of activities and cost drivers during the system design phase. This was key to producing reliable cost data. Another critical factor was staff and managerial commitment. Without strong support from both top leadership and frontliners users, the system would not have worked. Compatibility with the existing system like GFMAS also helped ensure a smoother transition. But there were also challenges. Some staff felt that the system was not user-friendly and reported difficulties in making adjustments without IT support. Others were uncertain about the role of external consult or felt that ongoing training was not sufficient. This also highlight the importance of continuous support, communication, and role clarity in any major system rollout. To increase the long-term success of ABC at AGD, the journal recommend a few important steps. First, there should be continuously training to users, improve user understanding and system adoption. Second, the usability of the system should be enhanced to make it easier for staff to engage with. Finally, and the most importantly, ABC information should be directly linked to the performance-based decision-making when costing data is used not just for reporting but also for real management decision. The system becomes truly valuable. In conclusion, the implementation of activity-based costing in AGD was a significant step forward for Malaysian public financial management. While it faced early setbacks and challenges, the system has improved cost transparency, internal reporting, and laid the foundation for smarter, more accountable government spending. With continued improvement, it could serve as model for other public sector agencies. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and hi. My name is Muhammad Aiman Bin Anuar and my matriculation number is 306787. For my part, I will talk about implementation of activity-based costing in Malaysia's public sector. Today, I will do a comparison between two public universities in Malaysia, which is Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia UKM in Selangor and Universiti Sultan Zainal Abidin UNISA in Terengganu. To start with, we will look at the implementation of ABC. UKM used a manual approach. They developed a 9-step ABC process tailored to their internal needs, using existing data system and spreadsheet. This required coordination between many departments and staff members. Meanwhile, for UNISA, they use a professional ABC software known as ABMSS. The software helped automate much of the costing process and provided clear, structured results for the program they analyze. Next, for the focus area of ABC implementation. UKM applied ABC broadly across its academic programs and support services. This means they wanted to understand the full cost of running different parts of the university. For UNISA, they just focus on one academic program, which is the Bachelor of Accountancy program. The aim was to see how ABC compares to traditional costing for that specific program. Next, for the objective of ABC, UKM main objective was to improve budgeting and support funding decision from the Ministry of Higher Education. They wanted to use ABC data to make better strategic and financial plans at the university level. For UNISA, the objective was more program specific. They wanted to compare the traditional costing method with ABC to see which one give a more accurate and fair cost per student. Next, we will go to the cost insight outcome. At UKM, the ABC system helped reveal how costs were actually spread across academic programs and support services. It gave them a better understanding of which activities were consuming the most resources. This insight helped the management to identify inefficiency and make more informed budgeting decisions. At UNIZA, the results were more specific. The university discovered that the cost per student calculated using ABC was significantly lower than when using the traditional costing method. This showed that ABC provides a more accurate picture of actual program costs. Next, for the training and staff involvement. In UKM's case, the ABC project required collaboration across many departments. Both academic and administrative staff were involved, and many had to be trained to understand how to gather and analyze cost data. This wide involvement helped build institutional awareness about cost management. In contrast, at UNIZA, the ABC project was more limited in scope, so only a small group, mostly the finance team, were involved in the implementing the system. There was less need for widespread training. Next, we will look at data complexity. At UKM, the data was more complex. Since ABC was applied across the university, it involved collecting and organizing information from many faculties, departments, and cost centers. This increased the difficulty of implementation. In comparison, UNIZA dealt with moderate data complexity. Since their focus was only on one program, the data was easier to manage, although they still need accurate input for reliable results. Next, for the result of application of ABC, UKM used the ABC findings to support decision making at the institutional level. The results were shared with the Ministry of Higher Education to help determine fair and effective funding for the university. It was used to guide strategic planning across different faculties and services. For UNIZA, the ABC results were applied internally to improve budgeting and planning for the accountancy program. It helped academic and finance team make more informed decisions on resource allocation and cost management. Next, the main contribution of ABC. UKM's main contribution was showing how ABC can be used as a strategic tool in higher education. It demonstrates how a large university can implement ABC to support national funding models and long-term financial planning. For UNIZA, their key contribution was to provide clear numerical evidence that ABC is more accurate and fair than traditional costing, especially in educational programs. Their case provided the practical benefit of ABC in a focus setting. Finally, we will look at the challenges faced. UKM encountered several challenges. These include difficulties in classifying data correctly, resistance to change from some departments, and technical limitation in their existing system. Coordinating between many departments also added complexity. For UNIZA, their main challenge was that the traditional costing system didn't capture support service costs accurately. This made it hard to see the true cost of running the program. The university also faced limitation in data availability and had to rely heavily on the ABC software for proper modeling.
Assalamualaikum and hi. My name is Muhammad Akiff Aiman Bin Rosnan and my metric number is 307502. Today, I will be presenting on the topic the implementation of activity-based costing in the Accountant General Department of Malaysia private sector. In this presentation, I will explain what activity-based costing is, how it is implemented, the challenge faces, and the benefits it brings, particularly from the perspective of the private sector practices. Although the Accountant General's Department is traditionally a public sector body, I will also draw comparisons with private sector applications of ABC to give a broader understanding of its importance in improving cost management and decision making. I hope this session will provide useful insights into modern costing techniques and their impact on organizational performance. The implementation of activity-based costing in the Accountant General Department of Malaysia, focusing on private sector. Introduction to ABC in the private sector. Activity-based costing, ABC, is a modern cost accounting method that assigns overhead and indirect costs to specific activities, processes, or products based on their actual consumption of resources. Unlike traditional costing, which often applies broad averages, ABC provides more accurate and detailed insights into where and how costs are incurred. In the private sector, where competition, customer demands, and product variety are high, ABC is especially valuable. It is widely used in industries such as manufacturing, logistics, services, and finance, where cost control and efficiency are critical to profitability. Why ABC is needed in private agencies? First, improve cost accuracy. ABC links costs to activities and then to products or services. This helps private companies avoid over or under costing and allows them to set more competitive and profitable prices. Number 2, enhance decision making. With precise cost data, managers can make better strategic decisions such as products to promote, which service to cut, or how to improve processes. Number 3, identify waste and inefficiencies. ABC reveals which activities consume the most resources. Companies can reduce or eliminate non-value adding processes, improving operational efficiency. Number 4, supports products and customer profitability analysis. ABC helps firms understand which products or customers are profitable. This enables more focused marketing and better resource allocation. Number 5, response to competitive pressure. In a competitive market, knowing your true cost structure allows companies to compete effectively on both price and value. Here's a more detailed elaboration of the first 4 key points on the implementation of activity-based costing in Malaysia's private sector. Number 1, wide adoption in manufacturing and services. ABC is widely used in industry with complex production of service processes such as manufacturing, logistics, and finance. These companies often have a multiple products or services sharing common resources. Traditional costing methods fail to allocate costs accurately, leading to poor pricing decisions. Number 2, critical success factors. The successful implementation of ABC depends on several internal factors. Number 1, top management support. Leaders must drive the initiative and allocate resources. Number 2, employee involvement. Staff must understand ABC and participate in identifying activities and the cost drivers. Number 3, IT infrastructure. ABC often requires software for tracking activities and costs. Number 4, clear objectives. Firm needs a clear purpose such as cost control, pricing accuracy, or improving efficiency. Number 3, benefits. Explanation. Despite challenges, ABC offers significant advantages. Accurate costing. ABC traces costs to the actual activities that consume resources, improving pricing and cost management. Second one, better decision making. Managers can see which products, customers, or services are more profitable. Improve efficiency. ABC helps identify non-value adding activities, allowing company to streamline operation. Here's a more detailed explanation of the 3 case studies. Number 1, ABC implementation in 2 Malaysian companies, Abdul Majid and Sulaiman, 2008. This case study focused on 2 companies, one local and one foreign multinational in Malaysia. This is to examine their ABC implementation processes. I would like to share the key insights. Challenges were mostly managerial. As we know, staff resistance, lack of training, and misunderstanding of ABC concepts were bigger issues than the technical aspects. The second one, success factors. Key factor for success included strong top management support, simplified implementation steps, user-friendly software, and employee involvement. Third, impact. Both companies reported better control over cost and more accurate product costing, which helped in strategic planning and performance involvement. Number 2, ABC in Malaysian Fabrication Company by Muhammad Rohani, 2018. This study compared traditional costing methods with ABC in Fabrication Company. I would like to explain the key insights. First, ABC gave more accurate product costs. Traditional costing over generalized overheads, while ABC traced them directly to the activity that cost them. Second, detailed ABC process. Steps include identifying cost objects, assigning direct and indirect costs, grouping them into cost pools, and using cost drivers to allocate overhead. Third, decision making. The company could now identify which products were profitable and where cost reductions were needed. Number 3, factors influencing ABC implementation in Malaysian SMEs. Nair and Tan 2018 investigated factors affecting ABC adoption in among Malaysian SME. The key points include: first, significant factors: external environment, cost-saving mechanism, user attitude, and company size significantly influenced ABC implementation. Second, implementation rate. Only 70% of surveyed SMEs had implemented ABC, indicating the limited adoption. Thanks.